job. Switch it.
Well, if the train's not equipped with it, you can leave without it, but because we've had units show up here that didn't have dynamic.
Welcome to Salem Yard. The KRAFT Switcher crew is seen here getting ready for their day, taking over from the Salem Switcher, which I just completed a 10-hour shift on. Did I get one? Sure, why not? I'll go out.
You'll be our extra switchman.
Yeah. Salem Yard, on Union Pacific's Brooklyn subdivision, is host to two locals. The Salem Switcher goes on duty at 6:30 a.m., and the KRAFT Switcher goes on duty at 4 p.m. The Salem Switcher will work north out of the yard, servicing customers as far as Canby, while the KRAFT will service customers southward, as far as Halsey, sometimes Harrisburg. Here's a Salem Switcher just arriving at the end of its workday at Salem Yard. It will yard its train and give the power consist to the KRAFT Switcher. To this day, the Southern Pacific heritage of these rails can be found sometimes on the paint of these locomotives and the caboose at the rear of the train. Today, cabooses are very rare in railroad operations, but when they're available, they provide a much more comfortable shoving platform for the crew on long shoves. There's a lot of switching to be done, a lot of cars in the yard for this KRAFT Switcher today. The 1124 will use track 8 to get to the south end of the yard and start building their train. Years ago, the Southern Pacific had two branch lines radiate from Salem, the Gear branch to the east and the Dallas branch to the west. At 2,955 feet, track 8 is the longest yard track. The body of the yard is about a half a mile long. The stub tracks on the north end, 15 and 16, are the shortest tracks at 680 feet. Inbound cars for the locals are brought by the MPDEU Manifest Portland to Eugene train, and they're set out in Track 8. All the pulls from both jobs are taken by the KRAFT Switcher to Millersburg to be set out for pickup. The EUPD will pick up the cars from Millersburg and take them to Portland. Whichever crew gets to the set out first will switch it and block up the cars for the other job and set them into one track. The shorter lead on the north end of the yard that the Salem Switcher uses limits them to blocks of about 8 cars to switch at a time. The lead on the south end of the yard is much longer and can hold about a 30-car train past McGilchrist Avenue.
20, 10, and good. Take a stretch.
Aside from cars acquired from today's Salem Switcher, the KRAFT will couple cars bound for the Duraflake particle board mill in Millersburg, paper box cars for Boise Forest Products, a reefer for cold storage at Madrona Street, and box cars for seed at Halsey. Another important customer on the line is the ex-Georgia Pacific chemical plant in Millersburg.
Make it 5. Three more. Couple. Mile 1. Half. 20. 10. 5. Good.
This Amtrak Cascades train is less than a mile from the Salem station en route to Portland.
Dispatch 268. 68 KRAFT, UP 1124, over. Go ahead, 1124. KRAFT Switcher UP 1124, I got TCS number 7974, I'd like to make operative, over.
So 7974 operative.
Alright, 7974 is operative, and we're ready to go. I'd like to get authority out, main track Salem, proceed south, over.
Alright, UP 1124 at Salem has authority to enter main track and proceed south. Over.
Alright, UP 1124 at Salem has authority to enter the main track and proceed south, over.
That is correct.
In an almost symbolic pose in front of the Capitol, the logo emblazoned on the nose harkens back to the day when ESPEE was king of Oregon. These tank cars were picked up today by the Salem Switcher from Ventura Oils at La Biche. These oils go into the making of Land O'Lakes butter. These loaded lumber center beams were picked up via interchange with the Oregon Electric. The crews working this interchange still call it by the original name of Oregon Electric, even though the cars are supplied by the Portland and Western now. Across from the La Biche siding, this interchange meets up with the UP at Control Point BP 721. Once the KRAFT switcher leaves the yard and is on their way, the first stop will be Millersburg to set out the rear of the train. That concludes part 1. Let's see what we find on the line. I hope you come along for part 2.